coming into the trading day, we're getting exactly what we wanted. We're getting that breakout above this trend line. This is going all the way back towards December. Now, people are showing you this mumbo jumbo when it comes to SPY, but what you need to be looking at is futures, people. Futures. That's what moves the market. That's where you're going to make your money. So as we come in here, we can see we talked about this yesterday. We were down here. We said we were holding this level, and we mentioned going into today, there was more upside than there was potential downside. That's why I said, and I expected today to come out bullishly. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm expecting going into tomorrow. Before I go any further, I have to ask you to consider doing two things: liking and subscribing. Every single day, I am posting the videos for you, so you know exactly how we're going to move, and you know the news that is coming out as well, so you are never taken by surprise. Every single day around 4 to 5 p.m. Central, I'm giving you these videos so you are up to date and you know exactly what I'm trading and what I'm looking for. Now, when we get in here, exactly what we're going to be looking at is going to be the NASDAQ. Now, I want to highlight a few things here in particular. So I'm going to use the 5 minutes to show you some intraday timeframes and show you what we've been doing over the past few days. We're a little bit zoomed out. Let me go to the 15 minutes to give you a better candlestick view, and we're going to get a little bit zoomed in here. So what I want to highlight is our key target has been for this entire move, essentially 13.6 to 13.5, about right there. And we have not hit that yet. We also have not broken the local highs as well, established at locally 13.421. Now you're pushing, and it's worth mentioning you are sitting in an ascending wedge, and from a technical standpoint, this does usually break towards the downside. However, I'm going to show you and kind of break down exactly why I think there's more potential upside and what you need to watch out for tomorrow. Now, from a fundamental standpoint, we've gone into CPI. It was a massive beat, and then we had overall GDP switching up on us once again. Now, I tweeted this out a little bit earlier, and I want people to realize what's really going on here. Now, as we get into this, I want to highlight what was said today. And when this came out, again, I told the Discord, I told everyone, you're bullish. You're going to go crazy. This is all you needed really to come out. And it's what the ATL Fed has revised as GDP once again. Now, I want to say something before I go too heavy on this. Now, it's worth mentioning every single week so far, they've been revising their GDP outlook. You were at 2% a week ago, you went down to 1%, and now you're back at 2.5%, higher than you were before. When that happened before, what did I tell you? I said you are very bullish. You're going to continue moving. You want to go up. So looking at the market, I'm taking this for as I see it. You look very, very bullish. Now, there was a lot of stuff surrounding the Fed being said today. However, what they're anticipating as far as rate hikes are 2 more 0.5 hikes, which would be essentially bullish for the economy. That's just overall what they're telling us, and we have to react to what they're giving us and to what the market's going to do based on the information. And based on that, what happened? CPI was a beat. So it came out less than expected, which shows that inflation is cooling. Now, again, this comes back to gas prices, and I'm going to make a more detailed video going into the weekend on a long-term standpoint so you know exactly what to look for down the road. But you're more interested right now in the short term when it comes to day trading. So for me specifically and in the Discord, I'm going to show you exactly what we were looking at on the day. I ended up buying some Google, and I also bought Apple. Now, Apple, I was buying a lot of this. This was what I loved. So Jay Ream was one that mentioned Apple, and he started buying a little bit early, but I will say he started adding more when it got lower, and so did I. But I went a little bit more aggressive with August 19th. He went more for the 26th, and we got these initially at 160, and we're able to grab some as low as 150 and a little bit lower around 148 if you were lucky enough there. Apple continues to look good, continues to mount key levels, and is pushing up. I'm going to show you the chart here in a second. Then we bought some Google. These actually went towards the stop, but I did let everyone know that I was actually going to add more, and I was holding either way because I was just very bullish on Google, which I'll go into here in a little bit as well. So that's currently what I'm playing. I sold a little bit of Apple, but I held a majority of that position into overnight because I have to overall just kind of save my position and hedge for any type of potential risk that I may be facing. But again, I'm very bullish, so I did leave a majority of my positions open. Definitely didn't take maybe enough profits. However, I think there's a lot of reward on the horizon, so I'm definitely worth taking the risk right now. Now, I'm going to go over the S&P because people are definitely looking at this chart, and this is going to be essentially one of the most bullish charts in the market right now. So we've gone over the past few days when we come in here to the S&P, going over SPY. You were chopping in our zone, which we marked out here on YouTube. I have been covering this. I posted on Twitter as well. But the key thing here is what we've been talking about is getting above previous highs and holding those levels. For instance, what happened here, right? So if we come back, you can see previous highs, same level right here. You held the same level right here as you held right here. Again, very bullish. And then what happens when you break above? You break above here and come back down, but then as we zoom in just a little bit here, you can see what happens yesterday. We break out of that downward trend. Again, I told you this yesterday, and then you bounce up today, and now look where you're at. You're holding that previous level once again. You come down, wick, buyers buy you up, push up, come down, higher lows all day long, and then boom, you shoot up near the end of the day. This is essentially the best case scenario going on right now. Now, again, targets for this, again, we have to take a little bit of a zoom out, go to the 4-hour chart. It's clear as day where our targets are. We've been talking about this for weeks now, almost 3 to 4 weeks. Our zone, 428, almost to 430. NASDAQ, very similar chart, very similar price action here, except NASDAQ has definitely started to run before SPY and ES. Your target, 13.5, 13.6. This is the big question here. Will SPY catch up? Will NASDAQ slow down? I don't know what to really tell you there, but those targets were the same back in May. There's definitely been a disconnection, and tech has been running and dominating the market as far as this goes. Now, I'm going to go over junk bonds here in a second because this tells us really the story here. But I want to cover VIX as well. So VIX, junk bonds are what we're going to talk about here. Now, VIX, we've been talking about this as well. You've been in a descending channel. Very clear. We said we're going to come down to 18, down to maybe 16. This is our range that we're looking for VIX to get to. Over the past overall 16 to 12 months, every time you come in this range, you consolidate and you shoot back up. So what are we looking for? Pushing down, consolidation, and then to pop back up. What does this mean for indexes? While VIX is going down, typically we get to move up on the NASDAQ, on the SPY, on the stocks that we want, on the stocks that we trade. So what do we do during this time? We take advantage and we capitalize. So me, again, I'm very bullish on the market. Could I be, overly bullish? It's possible. However, I'm taking advantage of the situation right now based on what happened previously, because this is how we made our money last time. Going into junk bonds, JNK. Again, one of the most bullish charts you're going to look out here. Going into today, boom, massive gap up. You held that key support we mentioned. Remember yesterday we talked about all these key things. You were holding these levels. That's why I was saying everything was on a support. From a technical standpoint, you were extremely bullish. You had to get the longs there. From a fundamental viewpoint, you had to wait till CPI came out. But from a fundamental viewpoint as well, you had to acknowledge that there was more room for CPI to reduce than there was for CPI to increase. And then this narrative that inflation is quote unquote peaking. You have our president saying there's inflation at 0%, which is a complete and utter lie because he doesn't know really what's coming out of his mouth. However, I have to acknowledge that yes, they're going to flow with this overall theory, and this is going to keep the markets afloat and keep us looking really good. Yeah, PPI tomorrow, so be looking out for Target, Walmart, and Amazon. Those are going to be big boys, and Costco, of course, but that's what I'm looking at there. So all these indicators point to some upward movement. Going into DXY, what's happening here? Massive downside. Basically, 8 o'clock hits, boom, immediate downside. You start breaking through all those key levels we had before. So again, this is definitely pointing us into the theory and into the thesis that we're looking more bullish in the shorter term. And in my opinion, I continue to remain with this thesis, and I think we're going to start pushing most likely tomorrow to 13.5, 13.6. We're finally going to get to that zone, and we'll have to start playing a little bit more slowly once we get there. However, it's looking extremely, extremely strong. Now, this is what you've been waiting for, some of the stocks that we like, but we had to take a little bit of time before we go there. I'm going to go over the overall options flow, and I'm going to show you Bookmap as well. We're going to go to premium to show the biggest orders here. And again, you are still seeing people attack this market when it comes to puts. Okay, you're still seeing those come on the market. It's worth mentioning. And they are sweeps, or they're aggressive to the downside. Now, I want to mention when these were bought. If you zoom in here, it's going to be really hard to zoom in here all the way. You can see 11 a.m., 10 a.m. This was your latest one on the after hours right there, but it doesn't matter because you're still going up. A lot of these were very early in the trading day. Guess what happened? Those people are getting trapped, people. They are getting trapped. They were buying when you were dipping, and you held the entire time. We continue to look strong, in my opinion. As we get above this range, where are we targeting once again? 13.5. Favorite stocks on the market. Let's do this. So we're going to look at really quick. We're going to look at Netflix first. Unfortunately, I do not have Netflix on a shorter term time frame, but we still do have the 300s in Discord. Now, I want to mention, Jay, where did he tell us to start buying these? And go check out his channel. I'll have his link down below. He's posting a lot of educational content, so I recommend you start looking at his videos as well. But we got these originally at 4.1 highlighted on July 19th. We've been holding these bad boys. These were a swing, one of the big swings. People, they thought we were going to go down, but look at where we're at now. They're over doubled up, and this is a swing opportunity in the market at 825 and counting, and they're pushing up even better. Now, going to the 4-hour chart, again, I told you people, you're going to start seeing this chart flow around Twitter and social media a lot. And I really think your favorite influencers are going to start talking about this one as well. Netflix is coming to the top of this gap level, 248, and look at this gap, people, all the way up to 330 on the low side, high side, 344. You have a lot of upside on track here for Netflix. So we love Netflix for swings, beautiful play. Even on the short term, looking at this chart, I want to highlight extremely strong, people. Extremely strong. We're looking for 250, 248. Microsoft, another one of our favorite plays here. You do have that downside risk. I want to highlight that. But when we come here, look at the 4-hour chart, people. Again, we're at that level, but look at the gap. You have a gap at 296, another gap, 310. You have a lot of room, and I just don't think you're ready to have that downside yet, and you have to be looking at these key ranges. What are some other stocks we were looking at with these gaps? Remember NVIDIA, tracking back here when we filled the gap to 180. We were tracking right down here. We were telling you this is how we were moving. NVIDIA once again has a gap, 188. We love NVIDIA. We love AMD. Extremely strong stocks. When we go over to the semiconductor ETF, looking here, if you can get above this 424 range, you are cooking, and you still look extremely strong on this as well. But you're starting to get in that territory of looking extremely strong to where you're coming to the point of a very bullish market, specifically on these semiconductor stocks. So you want to be keeping your eye on these as well. Look at these dips. You come to our range and bouncing right back towards the upside. So on the hot list right now, we have Netflix, we have NVIDIA, we have Microsoft, and we have AMD. Those are my favorites right now. Runner up, we like Tesla a lot here as well. Now looking, this is a 4-hour time frame. This is not a short. I don't even want to show you a short-term time frame. Look at this, people. Look how beautiful this is. All these zones have remained here. Remember the 940 target? We hit it to a T. Came back down to our massive range, 840 through about 870, 860 roughly. But I want to show you what's happening here. Look at this bull flag that is now formed. Look at how you're moving, people. This is textbook if it's ever been. You are queued up for another run. You had a very similar move, more narrow, definitely right here. But again, it's a lot more narrow. This looks a lot more technical, and you're looking for that push to 940 and a possible break up towards 1,000 on Tesla again. Maybe I'm too bullish. I don't know what to say. I love what I'm seeing here, though. The last one I'm going to mention to you, the last one. I have Apple. I already posted that chart on Twitter, so you can go check it out. Is going to be Meta. Now, Meta, I love what I'm seeing here as well. And again, you're seeing me come across bullish right now. And I've been telling you, until you get below 13,000, you cannot be a bear. You cannot be. Until you hold below there, you cannot be a bear. Looking at Meta, we're looking at that gap fill roughly towards 381. You have that range there, and then also 383. And when we come down to about the 15-minute, look at how we're trading on the day. Look what's going on here. You're seeing a lot of the same patterns playing on the market. Extremely bullish. I had someone in Discord asking about this one as well at the end of the day. You look like you want to run. We've been liking this movement. You broke local highs. You're mounting them as well. Look at that. As we come in here, you are mounting it. You come down, hold this previous highs, and you're bouncing off of it. So going to the market tomorrow, what am I looking for? Looking for continuation on a few things. To know for that continuation, you want the NASDAQ to start getting above 11.4 or just come out where it's at. If it comes out of this range, I'm still bullish. As long as it doesn't break down out of this wedge, you still love it. ES, it's holding 4,200. Look at that level, 4,200. Massive level now. You're holding it to a T. And you're looking like you want to start running towards 4,300. Everything here is setting up for our signs of bullish continuation. We love what we're seeing. And on the day, we had very minimal volume until around the end of the day, it started kicking up a little bit. But the beginning of the day, you had your volume. End of the day, you had some volume. Besides that, a lot of chop back and forth, back and forth. I love what I'm seeing. We're waiting for PPI. Be a little bit slow to enter. But if you get that push from PPI looks good coming out. Typically, it keeps CPI from falling to the ground. So you dip from CPI, and then you typically bounce back from PPI. But look in here. It's looking like a perfect storm to continue to push us up. And it's looking like shorts across the board are going to have to start covering some of their positions. And my biggest short covering play is going to be NFLX. Netflix, people. This is the big boy shorting opportunity that, in my opinion, is going to have a lot of shorts running to cover if you get above 250. Keep it on your radar because this is going to be the moon ticket if we ever have one. See you tomorrow.